Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am sitting in the 1986 Jeep Wrangler prototype. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline 4, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be in this vehicle because this was the prototype for the YJ. So unfortunately I can't drive this car. It is not street legal, nor is it in current operating condition, but this is what the YJ was based off of. This was the very first prototype, and as you'll see with the VIN, it is number 1. So we're going to be getting into that here today. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline 4. Well, that is an AMC engine, and we saw this engine used all the way through the 90s. You could get several different vehicles with this AMC 2.5 liter. It's not the best engine ever made, and they did end up putting a straight 6 into these as well, the 4-liter straight 6, which is wonderful. This is the less desirable engine, but again, this was the prototype, and this was the 1986 prototype, so it was still under AMC's control. Chrysler hadn't actually purchased Jeep until 1987. So from the start, they wanted to use the 4-cylinder, but again, they later gave it the 6. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. I've driven other YJs with this manual, and I absolutely love it. I think the YJ's manual transmission is the best Jeep manual transmission that has been done. It's absolutely wonderful. It's super notchy into gear, and it's just such a lovely feeling. Last but not least, of course, it is a Jeep Wrangler, so it is 4-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the YJ? Well, I've driven other YJs, obviously not this prototype one, but I've driven other YJs, and they do handle a lot better than the Jeeps that came before it. Jeep actually lowered the ride height a little bit here with this prototype for the YJ generation. However, they still use the leaf springs in the rear. They made the leafs a little bit wider, but it does have a very sporty driving feel, which is not really what I normally associate with Jeep. So hats off to them there. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 gauges. Off to the left is the tachometer, and off to the right is the speedometer. We don't have anything on the steering wheel. This is pre-airbag era, so nothing new there. And moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out. And that's it. This prototype doesn't actually even have windows, nor does it have a crank or area for any window switches. Moving into the center, we get 5 more gauges. We have our coolant temperature, fuel, a clock, oil pressure, and battery voltage. And down below, we have our fog light switch to the far left, temperature settings in the center for our climate controls, and off to the right is the radio. You do also get a little cigarette lighter and ashtray. And moving on to the floor, we do have the 4-wheel drive as well as the manual shifter. We do get this center console in the center. It's really cool that you can lock it, and it does come with cup holders at the back of the center console, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test. However, very predictably, it fails. The seats are something special as well. Not only do they match the rest of this caramel colored interior, but they have Jeep stitched into them, which I think is a really, really cool pattern look. And I wish that this would be offered in modern Jeeps. I think this is really cool. The seats themselves are very comfortable and very, very late 80s in their shade of brown. We don't have any back seats. We do have a rear cargo compartment, and I love how bare bones this was. Later YJs did come with back seats, and I've done backseat reviews of them. They're fine. They work. They're not the most comfortable, but they're okay. But I love the utilitarianness of this prototype. They didn't have the back seats. The roll bar is somewhat crude. It's painted white and it looks nice, but if you get up close, it starts to look a little bit less nice. But I do love that rear cargo space. You can open up the rear door, and of course that signature tire attached to the back. Now we got to take a look at the outside of the Jeep Wrangler prototype, and of course it is finished in this beautiful bronze copper color. I think it is so period correct, and when they wanted to show off their hot new vehicle, they chose a stunning color, and even here, so many years later, it still looks great. I really, really admire the look of it, and it does have those square headlights, or rectangular headlights. That's kind of a signature of the YJ generation of Jeep. Previously, they had used circular headlights, and after the fact, they had used circular headlights, so this is the currently only generation to have rectangular headlights, and I like that little touch. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think in this abbreviated review of a prototype Jeep? Well, I think that this is incredibly cool, and it's really cool to see where some of these ideas started to be formed. As you could see, this one doesn't even have windows. Well, they later added windows to the production model. You can see that, yes, they wanted the 4-cylinder, but they later added the 6, and that was the right choice. You can see sort of the genesis of some of their ideas in here. And what's really, really cool is to be sitting in and talking about Wrangler number 1. The Wrangler name is the name of the Jeep. Everyone knows the Jeep Wrangler, and so this was actually the first generation to use the Wrangler name, and this is the very first one. Every single Jeep Wrangler I will ever review from here to the end of time will have come after this vehicle. This is the very first one. And so Jeep wanted to expand their product lineup instead of just calling it the CJ5. You know, there was the Blazer on sale at this point, the Ford Bronco. We started to get used to these like more regular names. CJ5 is a very military style name, and it was a military style vehicle. But if they wanted to sell to parents, to family members, to people in communities, they had to switch something up and make it not so military sounding. And so they went with Wrangler, and that name has since stuck. And this is the very first one to get that name. That is so incredibly special. Just sitting in here, this is a rich piece of Jeep history, and I'm so fortunate that I was able to show it to you guys here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video on the prototype Jeep Wrangler YJ. Huge thank you to the Claremont Collection as well as Mecum Auctions for allowing me to browse around their museum here today and show you a couple of their pieces. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.